What is up, guys? It's Sean, back at it again with another Switch video. Sorry that I suck last week. I did not post. And I've promised to do this every week. Last week was crazy. My wife and I actually went to DC, and I got to visit some places that I used to live out there. She'd never been there before, so we spent a little time there. Anyway, games that I want on the Nintendo Switch. So there's a lot of videos out there of like top games, top 5, top 10, whatever, games that people want to see on the virtual console, games that people want ported over to the Switch. I'm mostly just going off of game series themselves, or what do you call it? Just specific games themselves that I have played in the past on multiple different platforms that I just feel are so important to me, for one, and also they would just be amazing to have on the Switch, to have portable, to be able to take wherever I want to go, obviously. And so this is just a breakdown of the games that I really think need to be on the Switch and why I think so. And if they never make it on the Switch, maybe it'll just encourage you guys to check them out, whether that's playing it on an emulator or actually playing on one of the old consoles themselves. So we're going to dive right in. Alright, so number one game that I would have to suggest would be the Golden Sun series. Now, the Golden Sun series, for those who aren't familiar with it, the game is made by Camelot. It's an RPG game, a Japanese RPG game which consists of 3 separate games through its lifespan, and it originally started with Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance, and then it went to the Golden Sun 2, which I believe is Lost Age, and that was also on the Game Boy Advance. And then finally on the DS, and probably what killed it, was Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Now, as you can see, this game is really just like a lot of the old kind of Final Fantasy style games, RPGs, where you're running usually about a group of 4, and everybody has their own abilities, whether it's their own items or powers or skills, whatever that they use. But this game and its story combined just made such a complete and really just warming story and game that really just forced you to just dive into it and just experience it and want more of this game. And it really was hard to put down. I remember from a young age playing on the Game Boy Advance and just could not stop playing this game. I think the first time I experienced it was Golden Sun 2. I think someone got it for a birthday or something, and so I started playing it and immediately fell in love with the game. I had to get the first one and played all the way through, and both games were just such a success, not only for me, but the games both sold well over 1 million. I think the first game almost reached 2 million sales, and then Golden Sun 2 reached about 1 million and a quarter. Where they failed was the third series, and I never even played the game just because I understood there was a lot of issues with it, and I actually wasn't a huge fan of the 3DS, or just the DS, I guess, for that matter. But even with its lower sales, it still hit 800,000 sales, Golden Sun 3. And having this game portable, like it was back in the day, but on the Switch, and maybe even an HD version of the games, and a pack, even if they just put a bundle of 1 through 3, that would be worth your money, no matter what. So that is something that I would wish and hope, and it probably never will, but if it does, you heard it here first, or maybe there's some other fans out there. But Golden Sun series, please come back. We need you. Next on the list is Pokemon. We're supposed to be getting a Pokemon RPG, kind of open world game, maybe this year or next year. Rumors have been coming out about that, as well as some facts as it's being developed. We just don't really have that much information on it. However, that's not what I'm talking about. That's great, and I'll probably pick that game up anyway, but we're going to take a step back 20 plus years to original Pokemon. So Pokemon Yellow, Red, Blue, the original, just the first generation, and the second generation were the best generations, or the best games that had those generations. Obviously, in my opinion, I've just lost past the X and Y and all that stuff. I don't know what's happening anymore, but we would love to see the original Pokemon come back again. And being able to play that again in a portable version or on your TV, whatever, in an HD setting would be just phenomenal. I know the 3DS definitely got some love for that, and on you were able to get what just came out was the silver and gold, and then I think the crystal also came out on the 3DS. But I feel that if Nintendo was smart, it would be so easy for them to just put that over on the Switch, again, the Virtual Console, whenever that comes out. But to put it on the Switch, there would be so many sales. I mean, whatever they sold it for, hopefully it wouldn't be too expensive, but like $10 or something like that. That would be totally worth the purchase, to be able to go back and play through those games again and be able to have online interaction with your friends and be able to trade Pokemon back and forth, so we don't have to be like the old days when you had to hook a cable up and you had to go freaking buy the cable first of all wherever you could find it. So I think that's just kind of a no-brainer that a lot of people want, but I would really hope to see that in the future, the near future. Number 3 on my list, Kingdom Hearts. That game, right in the feels, man. So Kingdom Hearts, if you've never heard of that before, it's a series of Square Enix, which is kind of like the Final Fantasy look mixed with Disney. So take those two, you would never think that would work together, but put them together and it makes one of the best games that I have ever played. Now the cult following for this game is huge. There are so many people that love this series, and there's a lot more games than you actually think, but I'm just going to be talking about the main two, which are Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. There's a lot in between titles, like I said, but those, which are great, they do have their place, but the first actual main storyline games, those two are what I need and want on the Switch. Now, there's been rumors, and Kingdom Hearts 3 has been supposedly coming out in the last couple years, and now we're finally supposed to be getting it this year, with no solid date still yet, and no spot in the E3 for any announcement. But we'll see. Having some faith that it might come out this year, and it'll probably come out on the PlayStation 4 alone, and then it'll progress from there. There's been some talk about it on the Switch. They've recognized that people want it on the Switch, but like many games that are coming out in the recent or that are coming out in the near future, those games have a lot of work being put into them already, and so going back and porting it over to the Switch, that's not something that's super easy to do. And so that's going to take some time for them to do that, so we might not see that really anytime in the near future, but it would be so amazing for them to bring over Kingdom Hearts 3, and also if they could bring the 1 and 2 HD remix over, that would just complete it. I mean, I've bought that game multiple times now on different consoles, but having it on the Switch, hands down, day that I saw it was coming out, I pre-ordered it instantly. That game is phenomenal. Number 4 on the list is one that's maybe be a little odd to you guys. It's Snowboard Kids. Now, Snowboard Kids 1 and 2 came out on the Nintendo 64, and these games, the first was, really just had a good solid story to it, and obviously that's why the second one came out. They had a lot of great sales from it, and the second one had just such a fun story. It was so exciting, and there was obviously more things you could do, more accessories, and those two games I put tons and tons of hours into when I was a kid. And it's not just the game and the story, but really the soundtrack was just phenomenal. And I could listen to the soundtrack today, probably going to the gym, and I'd be pumped. Now, I'm not saying that they need to make a new game for this or bring a new Snowboard Kids to the Switch. If they did, I think it would be super successful. I think they would make tons of money, have tons of sales off of it, and it would be something that all of us old fans would love to buy again, and really new kids and anyone that had never played it before would love to pick it up and enjoy it just as much as we did back on the Nintendo 64. But when and if, I guess, Virtual Console comes out, which it will, we just don't know when, Snowboard Kids 1 and 2, or if they just straight port it over like they did for many of the Nintendo 64 games on the Wii Virtual Console, if they did that, that would be worth it. That would be totally worth it. Worth a purchase, money into it right now. And if you haven't played those games, hunt down a Nintendo 64 and pick them up because they are so fun. Or just get an emulator if your computer can handle it and just play it on that. Now, last but definitely not least, you know it, Zelda. We're talking about Zelda. Guys, there's so many Zelda titles that need to come to the Switch that would be so amazing to play. There's a lot that obviously I've played through many times, beaten many times, that I would easily put money back into and pick it up on the Switch, because again, it's portable, it's something that we want to have with us always. Just imagine playing Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, any of those games while you're out and about, while you're in an airport, wherever, when you're in the car, not driving, of course, hopefully. Playing Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, any of those games, if they could bring those over, if the GameCube is really going to be part of the Virtual Console, the GameCube games, then those are must-haves. And I feel like if Nintendo avoids that, which I think would be really odd, they'd be losing so many opportunities to make tons of sales off of their customers. And I think, I know that they're aware of how much we want these games. I just don't know how soon or in what way we'll be able to access them. But those games, and obviously being Nintendo games, have such potential to sell so well on the Switch, and there's going to be a ton of double, triple, quadruple dipping into that game from so many Nintendo fans, and then even new Nintendo fans that are coming into the flock of Nintendo Nintendies. Now again, guys, we don't really know when Virtual Console's coming out. Maybe it's going to come out in the fall when we get the online service. Maybe it's going to come out sooner. Maybe it's going to come out later. Either way, I will be waiting for it patiently. And as we wait, I encourage all of you to find a way to pick up some of these games I've mentioned and play as many as you can before it comes out so that you can buy them again and play it on the Switch. Oh, the logic. But guys, those are my recommendations for Nintendo. So if you're listening to Nintendo, which you should be, then y'all better get your crap together and get those games to me, RN, because I'm about to drop my money right now. Quick video, but I'm trying to get more content out to you guys as fast as I can, obviously trying to make up for last week when I was gone. So feel free to like, subscribe, and definitely comment down below. Like I always say, let me know what you guys think about my top 5 games or top 5 series that I'd like to see on the Switch, and tell me some of the games that you guys like, maybe some cult following games that I haven't even gotten to play yet, so I can go and reach out and play some of those games with all the free time that I have. I still gotta beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So, as always, friends, we'll see ya.